Okay, so let's continue from where we left yesterday. So yesterday we spoke about, yes, the teams, right? And the roles. So for every activity, you have to define the roles, okay? Those roles are important because you know, okay, who's going to carry out the activities. So those who are going to carry out the activities, they are responsible for it. Who is accountable, right? That means if you have any problem, if you need more information, you need more resource, okay, any kind of concern you have, you need to approach the person who's accountable for it, right? And the list of consultant will tell you who can help you in case you need more knowledge or more information about certain thing. Okay, whether you need technical information, you have technical architect. You need business information, you have subject matter expert, right? Then inform. So when you are done, or and we also talk about later, we'll see we have something called as communication, right? So if you remember those boxes, communication was also one of the phases of BA. Okay, communication talks about who should be communicated, what should be the mechanism of communication, whether it's email or sharing drive folders, okay, and what would be um, um, the timeline, right? Whether do you want to do daily or weekly, right? Some people might be interested in daily update, some would be interested in weekly update, some might be interested in milestone information, right? When you reach a milestone, so those things are all part of the communication plan that you have. Okay. Clear?
Yeah, clear.
Okay. So now we are talking about team roles. Okay. So remember those bullet points. Okay. You have identified the people. Okay. And what are their responsibilities? So we create a table like this with 3 columns. Okay. First column is your name and job title. Second column is called project stake. And third column is description. So name and job title, each individual stakeholders. Okay, we're talking about stakeholders, right? So we write their name and the title that they have. Project stake talks about why that person is a stakeholder for the particular project. Okay, so how is that project important for this person? Okay, and then description talks about the overall responsibility, overall role of that person in the org, right? So that is more of a permanent kind of description of the role, and this is temporary, right? I mean, once the project ends, that role will be ended, right? So now I want all of you to read in your mind, okay, these roles, okay, and when you are done, you let me know. We will talk more about that.
Yeah, done.
Done? So what do you understand?
Each role has its
Much.
Right? So what did you understand from here?
like for each role they have different responsibilities, so they have to fulfill their responsibilities. For example, project sponsor, um like prominent in new solutions. Okay, so whatever the stakeholders requirements, so he need to uh, go through the requirements, make sure there will be a quality and quantity to the solution, to
Okay.
reach the requirements.
Correct. So why do we need to know? Why do we need to create this? Yes, what you said is right. But next question is, why do we have to do this?
Like, can you ask me question in another way? I didn't get that question. Like, what we should
Why
do?
do you need to create this table?
Table, okay.
Why this particular step is important? Why do we need to create this table?
It's a clear way to understand each responsibilities. That's why. That's why we create this table. Like, it's easy way. In a table, it's easy way to catch the responsibility for which role they have the responsibilities like that. So that's why they create the table.
Okay. Can you elaborate on that?
Like, I'm not able to. My problem is I'm understanding that, but I'm not able to explain that thing what I have in my mind.
Try.
Mm.
Keeping in mind will not help anyone, right? You have to take it out.
Yeah.
Okay? And you need to do
I'm
it.
trying.
Yeah, and you have to try, right? If not today, if you try 10 times, maybe 11th time you will get it right. But if you don't try, you won't get it ever, right? So you need to try, keep trying. So definitely after a few tries, you'll get it.
Like, first, it is a easy process to understand, for each person or each position, how, like, each position which responsibilities they have. So that's why they prepared this description, this table.
Okay. So yes, so this is important to know why, what the other person is expecting from you, right?
Okay.
Now, if you don't if you don't know whom you're dealing with, what you're dealing with, right? What is their expectancy? Project stake will tell you exactly why they are involved, what they need. So when you perform activities, right, or when you ask the questions, okay, you know the end objective of that person, right? For example, Jane Doe is primary end user of project solution. Okay, so the Jane Doe is the end user. And primary end user means number one end user, right? So if that person says this product is good, okay, the product is good. That person says product is bad, it's bad, right? So, the importance of user requirements is very much dictated by chain.
Yes.
You agree?
Yes.
Right? So that's why we need to give importance and work with the stakeholders. But before you work with them, you need to know why they are important for us. Okay.
Okay.
The third thing that we'll do is create the work division strategy or work breakdown strategy. Okay, it means that you are breaking down the, okay, it's not that. So you are breaking down the task, individual task, which can be independently accomplished. Okay, so I just discussed that yesterday, right? If you try to do everything, it will take a lot of time. So if you are able to break down into individual tasks, okay, first step is break down individual tasks, and second step is put them in a in a order, okay, which talks about which needs to be done first and which needs to be done second, so on, right? So for example, let me take a print and I'll show you. So let's say you have identified this task. This is task number 1. You identified task number 2, task number 3. Okay, 3, 2. Now task number 4, okay, cannot be done until you finish task number 1. So task number 2 will be marked here. Okay, indicating that task number 4 is dependent on task number 1. 5 could be here. Okay, 6 could be here. 7 could be here. It means that task number 7 cannot be done until you complete task number 5, 6, and 3. Okay, 1, 3, 5 can be started anytime, but 4 cannot be started until you finish task number 1. Okay, this is one. And then second thing is you also write the timeline, how many hours or how many days it will take. Okay, I'm writing number days. So 1, okay, it takes 2 days, it takes 1 day, okay, it takes 4 days, it takes 3 days, it takes 2 days, right? It takes 6 days. Okay, now you tell me, if you're working on this and let's say you have multiple BAs to work on, minimum how many days your project will take to finish?
Maybe 6 months.
How did you get months? I'm saying days, you're saying months.
Days. Maybe 1 week.
Don't give me any answer. Think and then tell me.
Okay.
19 days.
How many days?
19.
Why 19?
Because if you're the total number of days for the entire task is, when you add it, it is 19.
See, you 3 of you can start working on this, right? These are all independent tasks. So one of you can take this. Sorry. Okay, second person can take this, third person can take this. You can perform this, okay? And then let's say, person A takes this. The person A will work on first day and then go to task B on second day. And then second, third here, fourth day, person A will be here. So fifth day, that person is available to take task number 6. Okay, fifth day, it is available to take. Let me not circle it. But can he or she, or let's say you, one of you, right? So can you start working on this on 5th day or 6th day? Okay, 3, 4, 5th day. Can you start working on this on 5th day? Okay, because this needs to complete it. So this takes 3 days and 4 days. So Okay, task number 6 will be completed only on 7th day. So you can only start on 8th day here. Okay, from this you can start on 5th day. From here you can start only on 8th day. This 2 days, okay, done. So this person will be waiting on 3rd day to start. So now if you see, okay, you cannot start on 5th day. You cannot start on 3rd day. You have to start on 8th day only. So now you have 8 plus 7, 15 days. So minimum, you can do it in 15. Maximum, yeah, maximum 19 days, 20 days, 60 days also. After doing 1 day, you take a break for 1 week and then you start. But minimum, you cannot do it in less than 15 days. Did you get it, what I'm saying?
Yes.
Okay, this takes 3 days, right? So, okay, so let's say whoever is working on this. Now, let's say A is ready after day 1, but A cannot work here. Why A can't work over here on 2nd day? Why A cannot work on this on 2nd day?
Because he need to complete the first task and then he moved to the 4th one.
Oh, first task is completed on 1st day, right?
Yeah. After that, he need to move that.
Why should he move to A2? Sorry, the task 4. He can move to task 6. No. These are all independent tasks. Why should A move to this one? A can move here. I told you, you have many BAs. There's no restriction number of BAs. Even if you have 3 of you, okay, A, B, C, okay, B is busy here, C is busy here. A after 1 day can work here so that it can be done faster. Yes or no?
Yes.
But task number 6 can happen only after completion of task number 2. Task number 2 takes 3 days. How can you start on 2nd day? Can you start on 2nd day? Can you start this on 2nd day?
No.
Why?
Because this task second needs 3 days to complete.
Yes, 6 is dependent on 2. 6 cannot start until you finish task number 2.
Yes.
So task 2 is finished on 3rd day. You cannot start before 4th day. Okay,
Yes.
who works here doesn't matter. A can work here, no problem. Okay, B can go and work here. Who work on it doesn't matter. Okay, anybody can work. But the problem is task number 6, okay, has to wait for 3 days minimum because task number 2 takes 3 days, and only after you complete task number 2, you can start task number 6.
Yes.
So minimum you need 15 days to finish this. Okay, if there is only one person, then how many days will it take? Let's say there is only one BA and only one BA has to do all this work. Then how many days it will take?
As she said, 19 days.
Okay. Now, if you have 2 BAs to work with, only 2 BAs, then how many days it will take?
It will also 15 days.
15 days? Sure. Explain me how.
If A involves in the first task, it will take 1 day, and B involves on the second task, it will 3 days.
Okay.
Right? After completion of those tasks, again they move to the A moves to the 4th one, and B moves to the 6th one. Again, it will take 7 plus 2, 9, 9 plus 4, 13. And then, okay, it will take more days, I think. Maybe not 15 days.
15 days is correct. See, once B is working on task 2 and A is working on task 1, after day 1, A is free. A can move to C on second day itself. Why should A wait for B to complete task 2? Task 3 is independent, isn't it?
Yes.
Why should you wait for B to complete 2 and then you will go to, let's say you are A. Why will you wait for B to complete 2 and then you will go to 3? On second day, you can start working on C, isn't it?
Yes.
Yes. So second day itself, you will start working with C. So you are done. Okay.
Then moving to third task.
Then you move to
Third task.
third task. So day 3, you're done with 1 to 3.
Yeah.
On day 4, B will start task number 6 and A will start task number 4.
4.
Right? So this takes 4 days, right? So, B will continue working on 6. A will finish task number 4 and move to task number 5. So next 3 days, task number 5 is also done. A is waiting for B to come because A cannot start 7 because for 7, 1 and 3 is done. I'm sorry, 5 and 3 is done, but it has 6 is still going on. So A will wait for 1 more day, and that's when B will finish task number 6. Now either A or B can take because both are free now. So one of them will take and it will be finished in 6 days. So 3 plus 4 plus 6. It is 14, right? Not 15.
Yes.
It is 14 only. Or even 13, not 14. How did I calculate 15? So 3 plus 4, 7 plus 6.
7 plus 6.
13 days only. Not
13 days.
the minimum you need 13 days, not 15 days. So you need minimum 13 days to complete. With 2 BAs also you can complete in 13 days. With 3 BAs also you'll complete in 13 days. Okay. For 1 BA, yes, it will take 19 days. Each of the tasks you have to do. So 1 plus 3 plus 2 plus 2 plus 4 plus 1 plus 6, 19 days. So if you are 1 BA, you'll take 19 days. But if you have more than 1 BA, whether 2 BAs, 3 BAs, even 10 BAs, if you have, you will take 13 days to complete. Cannot do it in less than 13 days.
Yeah.
So this is what task breakdown says. Identify the task and identify number of business analysts and assign them the task. Okay. So one task assignment. Second thing is that drawing the work breakdown. It's called, what I just did is work breakdown structure. So the entire work you have broken down into independent work, which can be handled independently. Okay. So here there will be dependency. Not all tasks you can do it in same time, right? So you have to see who, what is dependent on what and create this structure. Okay. Okay. How is task divided to business analysts? It can be divided to business analysts in multiple ways. Okay. Depending upon complexity. If it is complex, you will give it to the most experienced BA. Okay. If it is easy, probably the newer BA will get it. And then you have the subject matter expertise. Someone is expert on certain type of work. So you will tend to give that person that work, right? Because that person is more experienced, has more expertise. It could be based on the previous work experience. BA has worked with a client before, so you will tend to give that work to the client because that person has already made a rapport with the client. Okay. Then you have geographies and area, culture. Okay, because it's near, right? You understand the culture, you are near, you don't have to travel far. Okay, so that is another reason why you will choose a particular BA for certain tasks. Then you have areas of interest, physical limitation, okay, business analyst availability, right? Also important thing is, okay, you have the best person. It's complex, but your best person is busy doing some other task, on some other project. So you'll find the second best, right? So you have to look for the availability in that case. Yes.
Yes.
Okay. Okay. And then you talk about the coordination among information, coordination of information. So you have multiple VAs. You have identified the task for them. Everybody knows. But second thing is you need to share information among yourself, right? You know you might be working parallelly, and as a BA you're working on certain certain tasks, but you don't know what's happening in the other task areas. So that's where you will need help, okay, to share the information, right? So you need to share the information. So you might have templates. That's what we call it as org standard and policies. It could be a methodology that you're adopting. So methodology that generally this happens at the work, right? So as a team, people are busy working and they don't share information because there's a certain task. So if the task is there and you are following the same task, then I don't have to ask you what are you doing, right? Because there's a predefined task. So you are following that, and it's a predefined, so everybody knows in the team what you're doing, right? Okay, then it could be templates, creating artifacts, creating templates, you can create a new template, you can create some kind of KBs, knowledge base articles, right? So these are different ways of sharing information. Okay, so of course you can come up with your own ways, right? So email things, sharing in the shared drive, putting in some kind of database, putting in some kind of Excel. All these are examples of sharing information. Okay, and then you will also have status meeting, maybe every day debriefing meeting. What happened? You discuss over dinner. Okay, you put them in a central repository, and you also have mentorship. Okay, the senior person will say, this is what you need to do. You have done this good, now they do that tomorrow. So you have mentorship there. So there are different ways where you can transfer the knowledge that you have gained by working on a certain project to other BAs who are working on different other projects. Okay,
Yeah.
then you talk about defining risk approach. Okay, so we haven't discussed so far the risk. Okay, every process that you talk about, you have to handle risk. Okay, risk is something which will be there, right? Risk is something that all will be there. Okay, you cannot have a riskless project, right? But how do we analyze? How do we handle the risk? Okay, so today also we will not join back when meeting ends. We will meet tomorrow. Okay, so we're talking about risk, right? So every business process, okay, everything that we do, okay, has a risk, right? But how
Yes.
do we manage the risk? We know we can't avoid, right? Sometimes we can avoid risk. That okay, let's not do that. That is the easiest way. Or there is a risk, I will not do it. Okay, you can say to an extent, but you can't say to everything. Otherwise, you will not be able to do anything, right? So risk avoidance is one of the risk method, but there are different ways to handle risk. Okay, so the first step that we have to do is called identify the requirements risk. What are the risks that you can come across? We call them as requirements risk. Identifying the requirements risk. So okay, there are the, the stakeholder is not available to respond. The stakeholder is not responding. Okay, you set up a meeting, but the stakeholder is not responding. That's one risk. Okay, like that, you have to identify all the possible risks. Then, for each of the risks that you have identified, you need to create a approach, risk management approach. Okay, risk management talks about, okay, so you have identified the risk. What will you do if that risk happens? Right? So tell me, if a stakeholder is not responding to your email, is not coming for the meeting, how will you handle that risk? What will you do?
Maybe
we'll have alternative contact person, right? In any place.
How can you get alternative contact? You have created this list,
like,
right?
Yeah, like
You have this list, right? So if you need to talk about requirements, your requirements, you have to talk to Jane Doe. All right. How can you talk to somebody else? You identified the person, that person is supposed to answer you, right? So how can you, see, BA can be replaced, right? As an instructor, let's say if I'm not available, you can have a different BA. But if you are not available, because you are supposed to get the training, if you are not available, how can we do it? Isn't it?
Yes. Mm.
Now tell me.
If he is not responding to the mails and the calls, there is no other way, right? To contact him.
What will you do?
Your voice was break.
No, I'm asking, what will you do?
Keep contacting him.
Keep contacting.
Until he responds.
Your project will be delayed, isn't it? You have to reach
Yes.
out to that person's manager, right? Or you have the accountable person, right? The person is supposed to be accountable for the process. If I'm not responding, you will reach out to Ram. Is he not responsible for it?
Yeah,
right?
but
So
when she said to the alternate person, you said like
person means what?
Alternate person.
For the user requirement, if if Jane Doe is giving me the requirement, I can't ask somebody else. I need to go to the manager or control person to ask why Jane is not responding, because that person has to give me the requirement, right? A person who's accountable for it doesn't mean that person knows everything, right? The manager of that person doesn't mean that manager can give me the requirement. I need to approach to them to force them or ask them why that person is not responding. Maybe she is out of office. Maybe she has some medical problem, right? So I need to know why that person is not responding. Okay, if it's just attitude, the manager has to tell her to go and talk to the BAs, right? So when you say alternate person is not for the requirement. I'm talking about manager who can ask. If I go to somebody else, why would she respond to somebody else? Manager, she'll respond. Accountable person will know whom to approach and how to get her answer. You want answer from her. She is the one who has to use your product. Even if you ask some alternate person, that person will tell you something. But what's the point of that person saying something if you are the user who's going to use your product might have different view.
Yeah.
Asking somebody else, person is easy, but how is that possible? Okay, because the person whom you're supposed to talk, that person is going to use your product, right?
Yeah.
So the approach, for every risk you have to have approach, or you have to have a plan. Plan could be okay, so this is the risk, this is what I'll do. If this is the thing, this is what I'll do. So there are different types of approach. Okay, first approach is avoid. Okay, this person is has to, if that person, suppose some person has a reputation, right? There's a person who's known not to respond. So no, I will not take that work. You will assign that to somebody else so that you don't have to go through that risk. That's called risk avoidance. Then you say, okay, bring it on. Okay, the risk maybe is too small. Okay, if it is too small a risk, then you will not even have a plan, because the planning is more expensive than handling the risk. So every risk we have two characteristics, okay, or two feature. Okay, one is called probability, other is called impact. Okay, so every risk we have to, when you say identify the point number one, you also have to identify the impact and the probability. Probability means what is the probability of occurrence? Okay, tsunami happening, maybe probability is very less. Okay, then impact. Okay, so if that risk happens, the impact is very low. Okay, so if impact is very low, you will say, okay, bring it on. You know, the probability is also low, impact is also low. Okay, so you know, so in that case, probably having a plan is not worth. So you will not have any plan. It's okay, let the risk happen, and then I will take it on. Okay, so so this is one. But how do you manage this? You need to have a alternate plans. Okay, then you can also do what is called as risk transfer. Risk transfer means we generally take insurance. Why do we take risk? Why do we take insurance? We take insurance because we want, you know, like, you know, let's say you are sending a courier or you're sending a parcel. Okay, and when you are sending that parcel, the parcel can get lost on the way, right? So if you know, parcel is expensive parcel, right? What if the parcel is lost? So we take insurance, right? So that if parcel is lost, okay, you will be paid X amount of dollars. So in this case, we are passing the risk to the risk company. Okay, you are paying. Why that company is taking a risk? Why the insurance company is taking a risk? Because that insurance company is getting money. So you will pay a small amount, isn't it? You will not pay a large amount. You will pay a very small amount, okay, for the risk. And for that amount, the company is taking a risk. So if something happens to your package is lost, damaged, torn, or whatever, that company will pay you. Okay, so this is called risk transfer. Okay, that you want somebody, you're giving it to somebody else to transfer. So risk avoidance mitigation, okay, is about having a plan. Okay, so we'll stop here for today. Okay, we'll continue tomorrow about other aspect of risk. Not tomorrow. Tomorrow we have test. Okay.
Yeah.
And day after we'll continue from here.
Okay.
Prepare well.
Can you just,
Yes.
can you give us a like sample question, like how will you